Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. I have a special show today. I have Bill Brandmeyer, and we're going to talk a little bit about the ShareWaves Foundation, coming to you from the 810 WHB radio station studio. Um, Again, I'm excited. I've known the Brandmeyer family, his brother Mark, since high school, and got a chance to reconnect. His brother Mark bought the KC Monarchs, formerly the T-Bones in Kansas City. And anybody that knows anything about business in Kansas City knows just what good people they are, what a Kansas City business success story you guys have been, and how good you have been to the community. Tell me a little bit, I guess, about your family and the business, and kind of how you got to where you're going to do the ShareWaves Foundation and what that looks like.
Thank you very much, Dean. I love what you're doing here. You asked me if I could come on, and I just jumped at the chance. I really appreciate what you're doing. And hello to your audience. Introduce myself. I'm Bill Brandmeyer. The kind of story of our family starts with eight brothers and sisters. We're big. Brandmeyers are a big Kansas City family. My dad worked for Ewing Kauffman. That's one of his mentors. He built a company with the help of all of us. All the kids kind of contributed to the building of a healthcare company here in town. We were able to exit that company about 12 years ago. And
I think you exited pretty well on that deal too.
It was good. It was obviously totally blessed. Looking for ways to give back to the community, and a lot of my involvement has revolved around nonprofits and helping nonprofits tell their story. I have this incredible relationship with Union Broadcasting and Chad Boger and 810, and they have given me an opportunity to come alongside them and build a charity that actually does incredibly impactful stuff in the community, and that's what ShareWaves is.
Were you college friends with Chad? How did you guys meet?
Chad's a little younger than me. I knew his older brother Brett. I went to Charmish, but I dated a girl at Blue Valley, so I kind of knew the Boger name. It was kind of infamous out in the south of Kansas City. Then I met Chad. We became instant best friends, and I've been working with them for about 12 years now.
Probably the brand. Is your whole family, are you big KU fans? Is that?
Oh, 100%.
That's what I thought. And that's probably, I know Chad's a huge fan.
Yeah, definitely have some, relationships with Chad that go beyond just the Brandmeyers. He's good friends with my sister-in-law. They went to high school together, so there's that connection. And then, obviously, if you're a sports fan in Kansas City, 810's been your go-to radio station for 21 years now. And, there's no better group of guys that love this city and love our sports than the guys here. We use the power of sports to connect with the city, and now we're using it for good.
One comment before we start up and hear about the ShareWaves Foundation. It's a really cool idea. I'm interested. I'm going to be part of it. The Monarchs. So obviously anybody that knows much about the Negro League baseball, the Monarchs were a Kansas City-based team. His brother, and I'm sure you've had some involvement too, have resurrected the name. I think I had more fun at the stadium. If you ever get a chance, go out to the stadium. What they've done out there, it's awesome. The quality of play was great. It's good to see some people had been in the pros, some people are trying to make it to the pros. There's a whole range. I think I had more fun looking at your whole family and how many kids there were, and what good people you were. That was really fun. I got more fun out watching you guys.
We can't quite fill the stadium with Brandmeyer.
Oh, there was a lot of you guys, though.
But definitely a lot, and great atmosphere. What a great opening day. The rainbow before the game just kind of set it all. If you haven't seen the pictures, go to willgregory.com, look at his video, or his Social Apex was out there shooting great video. Just an amazing amount of great people coming together to make that work, especially Unified Government. Unified Government has bent over backwards to help my brother make this happen, and we love the people out there. KCK, just this incredible group. I'm focusing my attention on the kids of KCK. It's one of the areas of our city that needs the most support, and so we have a lot of good things happening in that community, and we have good things happening across the whole metro with youth and sports and how we're getting back after COVID.
So let's hear about ShareWaves, how you came up with this brainchild, and kind of what you see happening now, the future, what you're looking for.
Well, it really starts with my relationship with 810. I've used 810 many times to help me tell my story about how I'm raising money for different charities. I danced with the Kansas City Stars for Cristo Rey and raised money. 810 helped me. I raised money for the Turning Point, which is a nonprofit here in town, part of KU Med Center, that helps people deal with chronic disease and in life, terminal illness, and how do you handle the emotional, psychosocial aspects of all of those treatments and all of those diagnoses. And my wife and I were able to raise money using the radio station to tell our story. And then I did a radio show where I interviewed people, kind of like you're doing, where I let them tell their story. Why does it matter? It was called Casey Cares. And I learned throughout that whole process that we had a platform that if we leveraged it, we could actually impact Kansas City. I asked Chad and Sandy and Alok if I could focus our attention on youth sports, because kids in Kansas City have a really unique opportunity to play youth sports, really any youth sport they could possibly want to play, unless they don't have the resources. And kids in under-resourced neighborhoods, they are struggling to connect to anything besides soccer and basketball. And we'd like to see those kids have access to all kinds of sports. And so the ShareWaves Foundation began with the idea to use the power of sports to impact kids. As I did some research, I came to understand that within youth sports, there's this pay-for-play mentality that has driven the cost of sports up to a point where if you are not able to pay the fees, you can't play the sport, and it really locks kids out. And so that's a paradigm shift that is slowly, people are trying to understand, how do we get more participation happening, more kids playing games. But I'm sure you can think back to your days being a part of sports. Sports is a part of my life. There's nothing bigger in my life that has helped me become the person I am than my high school cross country coach Carl England looking me in the eyes and telling me that if I don't work harder, I'm never going to be successful, or challenging me to be a different type of person and asking me to step up. And so it's those types of youth sports experiences that I think every kid needs to experience.
Well, I think one of the points you brought up is this whole club sports that have come up, and if you look at certain sports, the expenses made it so hard for people of all kinds to even afford. I'm a lot older than you, but when I was young, a club sport, no one even knew what it was. And so so now things have changed. And so tell me about, I know you have a big thing coming up with Tom Watson at Top Golf, and tell me, some of the things you're doing to try to raise money and what the end result looks like.
So pretty clear, 2021 is our opportunity to impact kids. This is a moment in time. Coming out of COVID, kids have been isolated, alone, and depressed for 12 months. They have missed a whole year of their development, whether it be the psychological, social, emotional, academic, or physical, and really skill developments. They've missed all of that. We want to try to inject energy, time, talent, and treasure into kids to help them make up for their lost year of development. And so we're targeting golf first. We're putting together an event where we are bringing Tom Watson as a featured guest, along with a bunch of other celebrities, to play at a Top Golf tournament called the Blasters. We did the Blasters as our launch party. We launched with a competition that included pros. We had Robert Streb, we had Kevin Ward, Alex Springer, Harry Higgs, some of the top young golfers in Kansas City that are playing on the PGA Tour. They were off, they didn't have anything happening that week, and they came out and they competed in the Blasters at Top Golf, a target competition. And it just so happened that the best golfer that was there won the competition, Robert Streb. He's our first.
He beat Wardo?
Yeah, he in the finals. They actually played each other. And then Mark Terranova, who's a annual Watson Challenge player, played in the amateur division, and Mark, probably the best amateur there. He won. And then the top high school golfer won the 18 and unders, and the top 14 and under won the 14 and under. So it was really cool that Top Golf gave us the best golfers winning the tournament. It wasn't gamified. It was real competition, and it actually evaluated the skills of the players, and the players that were there all loved that. They loved the fact that it was a fair outcome.
So what's the big event on June 27th going to be like?
It's a little different. We're going to do a Battle of the Bays, so we're doing these 6-man scrambles instead of a 4-man scramble like you go to in a normal charity event. We're going to have 6-man scrambles. Tom Watson is going to be there. He's going to have his own team along with some other celebrities.
He's going to stack it with Wardo and George Brett and everybody.
If anyone beats the Tom Watson team, they get a really special prize. No, we're going to have a really great time. We have we've taken over Top Golf. We're going to have junior tournament on the first floor.
Awesome.
Where we're going to have over 100 junior
What
golfers.
age group will that be?
We're going
Do
to
you
have
know?
2 age groups, 18 and under, 14 and under. It's
Okay.
a really great split. 14 and under is kind of, you're moving into high school, you're a little higher level of play. The younger juniors all kind of learning how to swing, learning how to keep
I get my
score.
kids in that
Yeah,
one.
it's really fun. It's $100. You get to bring a guest, so that's the best way to
Great.
go, is to get your kid involved and let them bring you to the event. Then if you want to play in the corporate challenge, you have to be a part of a corporate team, a 6-man scramble, get your buddies together, 6 men, come in, you get 6 golfers and your 6 caddies, your 6 guests. So the golfers and the caddies, it's a $5,000 corporate purchase sponsorship, or single golfers is $250 to come, and then you have to have a guest ticket for another a guest ticket's $250. So it's really a $500 couple ticket, but it's going to be a really high level, really cool event, and really a special night, ready to get out of COVID. No
Food and
masks,
drinks and everything?
Food included, drinks included, totally catered. Awesome prizes, giveaways, silent auction, live auction. We're going to do a really special announcement about one of our initiatives, which is we have 5 initiatives for 2021, and we want to create micro funding grants for kids to give kids access to sports.
So are you going to keep people in the loop of kind of like how people have progressed that have kind of gone through the program, if you will? Is it more of an anonymous kind of thing, or like,
well, look, we're connected to a media company. We're broadcast media. This is Union Broadcasting. We have 2 radio stations here in Kansas, really 3 radio dials in Kansas City. We're the #1 sports talk radio station in the city. We know how to create digital content. We want to tell stories. You're going in the right direction. We want to follow these kids as they use sports to transform their lives.
Yeah, their
and
lives.
We also want to tell stories of other athletes that have transformed their lives, and business people like you who have a sports experience in their background that has benefited them. We want people to know that playing sports helps you become a better person. It's just fundamental. The opportunities to have a safe space to learn the life lessons that we're challenged with in the real world, it's just too sacred. That safe space to have a mentor, a coach, a parent, a team, to have all of those elements in your life helping, guiding you through all of the different decision points and different things that you have to do. There's nothing like sports that does that, and we're a real big.
And the biggest thing at the end of the day, if you look at it, when I was young, the parents would drop you off, they'd leave. None of the parents were at the game. Now, especially with COVID, I think you hit on something really smart. Kids need to feel the love, if you will. I don't know if there's a term
now
for
more
it,
than
but
ever.
like you and I, even if we're not like in the front, we're sitting in a chair in the back, and we're there. We're there in mind and body.
You're hungry for it. I call it reconnection. I think
True.
It's reconnection, re-engagement, and it is about letting them feel it. I did an interview of 3 high school basketball players from Harmon who had their whole season wiped out. They watched as all the other basketball teams in the city played, and these high school kids who have desires to play at the D1, D2 level, and they had to sit and watch. And I interviewed them, and their attitudes are incredible. It's an 8-minute interview, really good. But when you start asking them how they made it through, they talk about their team as their family. They don't have a parent that can get them out in the yard and play catch with them. They don't have a parent that can guide them into their workouts or help them, motivate them to get out of bed to do the run that they need to do, or the push-ups or the sit-ups. They have a team, and if that team is broken, then they're broken. And so we want to empower these youth organizations to adopt a more inclusive mindset, bring more kids into youth sports, make it more participatory, less pay for play. We believe in competition. You can't have sports without it. There's no doubt. We love it. It makes for the drama. It makes for it brings attention and energy. But really, what these kids actually need is us to come around them, surround them with love, and give them that connection that they've lost.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's awesome. And count us in for June 27th.
Oh, good.
And I don't know. Like I said,
Put your
this
team
is
together, guys. If you go to the blasterskc.com, you can see all about the Blasters. If you go to ShareWavesFoundation.org, you'll see my.
I wonder if I can get like Jack Nicklaus or somebody as a ringer.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know. The way they're stacking these teams up, I'm a little worried.
The golf world is starting to understand what's happening. The golf pros are all going to know about it. We're going to go out to all the different country clubs and let the people know about it. We're going to get a lot of great golfers there. We're going to be broadcasting live that night on Union Broadcasting 810 WHB Sports Talk Radio. the best sports talk radio in town, and you know,
In the world.
I wouldn't be
not,
here.
Not town, it's in the world.
Yeah, that's
Come on, man. It's a global
I wouldn't be
economy.
here without Chad Boger, you know, and thanks to Union Broadcasting and all the guys here helping support this. And we're poised to come into this with really clear ideas of how to impact kids with sports.
You know, I even invested a tiny bit of money in this radio station, and I think I paid for maybe a half of this mic. I guess they told me not to touch anything. So, anyway, thanks for being on the show, man. I
Incredible.
love you. Thanks
I love
for what you're doing.
Thanks. Thank you, Dean.